Hey guys, Kevin Rogers, Bobby Garland TV. I want to take a minute and walk you through the different style baits Bobby Garland has out. With 80 different colors and all these different style baits, surely you can find your favorite one. There's a lot of baits going on here, and a lot of them are for specific techniques. One in particular is the 1.5 Crappie Shooter. And it was specifically made, and there that bait is, specifically made for the guys who like shooting docks. The way it's got these flat sides on it, flat sides, you actually rig it like this so that when it hits the water, if I had lead head here, I'll rig it up for you. When it hits the water, it skips across the water and gets back in that dock where you want it to be. So this is the Crappie Shooter. You actually rig it through the head, out, poked myself there, put your Crappie Pro head on there, flat like that, and that way when you shoot that thing underneath that dock, it skips. Something I don't do a lot of. I've done a little bit in my life. I'm headed down to Guntersville, Alabama this year. I'm going to try some of this dock shooting. It's a lot of fun. Casting's a lot of fun when you're reeling that thing in, that crappie ticks. God, people love feeling that crappie thump. So there's the Crappie Shooter. So the technique for this lure is specifically made for shooting those docks, and you can use this in other applications, of course, right? So all these different baits are made for different applications. One we don't talk about a bunch is the Itty Bitty series, and the Itty Bitty comes in different style baits. Here's an Itty Bitty in a little bitty Itty Bitty Slab Slayer. I also have it in the baby shad, right here. Itty Bitty. Look how tiny those things are. That is some fine detail work right there. There's a baby shad and an Itty Bitty, and the Slab Slayer. Itty Bitty. Bobby Garland also has 32nd 64-ounce little bitty heads. It's Itty Bitty heads. They actually pour and make these in their lineup of Crappie Pro heads. Here's what they call an overbite sickle hook for you guys that like the sickle hook. Here's a little bitty 32nd ounce head to rig the Itty Bitty jig on. So if you got that crystal clear water and your crappie like those micro baits, Bobby Garland has the bait for you. Little bits, a little bitty profile in conjunction of what I use on my home lake. And here in Missouri, where I usually fish, I'm using giant baits to get their attention. Totally different concept there. All these different baits. Again, that's the Slab Slayer. That's the giant Slab Slayer, right? And it comes in 2-inch and 3-inch. And this can be used vertical jigging, trolling, casting, however you want. Pretty versatile bait. The number one bait in the whole lineup of Bobby Garland is, of course, the baby shad. And baby shad, let me find you one here. Let me find the actual one. The baby shad is the number one selling soft plastic lure in the world. Not just in the Bobby Garland lineup, in the world. More baby shads are sold in a year time than any bass lure, any saltwater lure. It's the number one seller in the world. Baby shad, flat, catches fish anywhere in the country. And that happens to be the number one color of any Bobby Garland bait. Out of the 80 plus different colors we sell, that's the number one. Of course, I'm talking about monkey milk. This thing is versatile. I mean, the tail on that, look at that thing. I can't even hold it still. The tail of the baby shad's incredible. It's very simplistic, and this thing flat catches fish anywhere. I'm a tournament guy. I like catching those giant crappie, but when they're not biting, I'll downsize and we will use these baby shad. This guy right here puts a lot of crappie in the boat. So if you haven't tried the baby shad, man, you are missing out. It works everywhere. There's places around Oklahoma and then in North Carolina and South Carolina where these things sell out so fast you can't get your hands on them. So moving on to that, you have the baby shad swim R, and it's similar in shape, but it has a segmented tail right here. It has a defined, and then it has a little pouch underneath it. And I actually like the swim R baby shad better than I like the swim R, just because of the action. I think the baby shad swim R has better action. Here's one in Mayfly, is the color, because of the segmented tail that Bobby Garland put on there. And it's 2¼ inches long. So something a little bit different. For you guys who like long lining or trolling and you want that kick, Bobby Garland with this Strolar has the most unique tail there is. The way this tail is designed, it actually kicks up and it comes through the water. If you've ever used one of these, you'll understand. The vibration coming off this tail is incredible. There it is in Grenada Gold. Here's one in Sunset. Pretty cool color. But this tail, Bobby Garland has done it. I think they've created the perfect that corkscrew tail, screw tail, whatever you want. Different. The way this thing is, it has this boot on the back of this thing. That boot right there, I mean, it vibrates. So I like using these when I'm slow trolling out of the front. I know the longliners love these things just because of the pure action. So pretty cool bait. All these different baits. One we haven't talked about a whole bunch is the scent wiggler. We don't talk a whole bunch about a scent wiggler. It's the only Bobby Garland bait that comes packed with scent, and they make these different down at the factory than any other bait. These things are packed with the unbelievable smell. I mean, they stink. They have to work. What's cool about the scent wiggler? Again, it's segmented right here and has 3 different sections. And what I like to do, I actually like to tip my jig with it. Now, you can take the head off, get rid of that, and make it whatever size you want to make it. This bait works great right behind the minnow minder, the Bobby Garland minnow minder. The minnow minder, the way it was created with its unique tail right here in this open spot, minnow minder was actually made. This bait was actually made to tip a minnow behind it. That's why it got its name, the minnow minder. Or you could take your scent wiggler and tip it behind the minnow minder just like it was a minnow, and it sets right up in there like a minnow. So on these tournaments that we can't use the live bait, I will use this scent wiggler, and then it sits down there. It makes it a bigger, bulkier bait, but it provides that stink and that smell that those crappies sometimes love. So one thing, I don't think the scent wiggler gives enough credit. I mean, it absolutely stinks. It's a great bait. You can fish it by itself. Put it on a lead head here for you. You can fish it by itself, and it's still a great bait. The scent wiggler doesn't get enough credit. Other bait, all these different baits, they're all used for different techniques. You can use them however you want. You find your best way and the technique that you like to use them with. The slab doctor we didn't talk about. The pile diver is a unique bait with these kicking tails and these arms. It's kind of a creature bait from Bobby Garland, right? So Bobby Garland has created every type lure there is. The new Slab Hunter coming out. It's a swimming type bait. You're going to be able to use it in all kinds of different applications. Same with this guy. I think endless opportunities with this guy. Casting, jigging, trolling. Got them cool little legs off the back. Definitely a creature style bait. New colors. Bobby Garland every single year coming out with brand new colors. Here's the difference in a 3-inch Slab Slayer, 2-inch Slab Slayer, and there it is, the Strolar. This thing will be great down there in that muddy water with that red tail. So all these different baits, all this different stuff from Bobby Garland coming out every year with different colors. There's new colors coming next year, probably even a new bait. This is how innovation these guys are. They just keep things going in the Bobby Garland lineup. So from the Itty Bit to the 3-inch Slab Slayer and 80 plus colors, surely you can find your favorite one. If you have one of these baits and you're using a different technique, I want to know about it. Send me a message on my Facebook page at Kevin Runners Fishing. Let me know how you're fishing your favorite Bobby Garland bait, so we can let the rest of the world know. We're here to help share and talk about how everyone's using these different baits, and everyone has their favorite bait. I love when people send me messages and say, the blue ice is my favorite color, I won't use anything. I love that. That's amazing. Keep them coming, guys. Good fishing.